Hello, friends. I'm Reverend Kyra, and I'm here to share a second part of what we're working with in the book called The Great Work of Your Life. It's a guide for the journey to your true calling by Stephen Cope. Wonderful, wonderful material. He really speaks to Dharma, and he's made a life study, his Dharma, out of a really investigating Dharma and how it has worked in the lives of many great beings, as well as in individual lives of everyday people, you and me and the world, all of us. And he works in this material with the Bhagavad Gita. And I'm so excited this week. We're going to be working with the second of the four pillars, the second two of the four pillars of Dharma that he identifies in here. So he expresses that, first of all, to understand what is Dharma, he talks about Dharma is the essential nature of a being, comprising the sum of its particular qualities or characteristics and determining by virtue of the tendencies or dispositions it implies, the manner in which this being will conduct itself either in a general way or in relation to each particular circumstance. So who is it we're willing to be in the world, and what is our Dharma, our destiny, calling us to be and therefore to do? And as we look at this and start to understand Dharma, we explore the four pillars. So last week we looked at looking at your Dharma. What is it to be in alignment with your truest self and to express that which is your natural gift in the world? Many of us lost some of that along the way as a child when we maybe were not encouraged. Others who were encouraged, like he gives examples of Jane Goodall, who was so encouraged, and what a difference she made in the world in our communication with animals, right? In her study with the chimpanzees, being willing to live in the jungle, to explore and understand and become family with them. And she was in her Dharma, but she was also very much encouraged as a child in her Dharma. Now, whether we were or we were not, we have the opportunity to open ourselves to our own Dharma. What is it that thrills our soul, that is our natural soul expression? The second pillar we studied last week is to do it full out. So whatever we do, not to just explore little bits here and there, but to really take it on and live into it. And as Lord Krishna is speaking to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, and this is a lot of what this material is based upon, what's the true story of the Bhagavad Gita and what happens to us when we are Arjuna living his Dharma, but he's not understanding what his true Dharma is. And so he is paralyzed by doubt. And he falls to the bottom of his chariot and cries out for help. And Lord Krishna is there as a charioteer, actually to teach and lead him through this understanding of what it is to live into your Dharma. And so this dialogue that goes on and the stories in this material are helping us understand what is the greatest message. And the Bhagavad Gita was actually a message that has been used by many throughout their lives to help support them in coming into their true calling. For Gandhi, it was the only book he took to prison with him. It was a study used by Beethoven, by Henry David Thoreau. Many great beings who actually expressed their Dharma in powerful ways used the material in the Bhagavad Gita to really go into the depth of their being. And so this week, we're going to continue with the story of the Bhagavad Gita, but also to look at what are these pillars. And there are two additional pillars that we've not addressed yet of Dharma, as described by Stephen Cope. And so the third one that he's talking to is called Let Go of the Fruits. Oh boy, this has some amazing material in here with it, because he really speaks to the awareness that when we get into grasping, it is the same as doubt, craving and grasping, and the way that we have attachment to the outcomes, then we get in the way of actually fulfilling our greatest destiny and our greatest calling in the world and using our gifts fully, because we're attached to an outcome. And so what he expresses in that is that in grasping, we create disturbances in the mind. It will actually create a disturbance in the mind. So you know how it is if you try to meditate and you've got your mind going and going and going on something, you're caught up in that and it's crazy making, rather than being able to center into your being and know the truth of you in the midst of all circumstances, whether this is appearing or not appearing in your life. And so as we look at this, we're going to look at the three ways that the mind gets unsettled and how grasping and craving and not letting go of the fruits, hanging on to those, can block us. It's with disturbance and obscuration. We don't see clearly when they're in the midst of a desire that has a grasping quality to it. We also have our experience of separation. The minute we're grasping for something out here, we create separation and amplify it. So the whole quality there takes us back to the traditions and teachings of detachment. That we know that that's a major Buddhism teaching, but it's a teaching in all spiritual messages. So when we are looking at letting go of the fruits, we are going to study what Krishna has to say to Arjuna and understand how that applies in our lives. Because all of this is about how do we show up with ourselves and how do these things affect our behavior and who we know ourselves to be. So we'll go into that and even the questions that Arjuna has, because like every one of us, he asks the questions, well, wait, isn't desire what motivates us? Isn't that how we do noble acts? And we'll understand and learn more about that, about the salutary effects of desire and how it can lead to aspiration. And so we'll look at those pieces. And then the fourth pillar that we're going to be looking at in this is, wait for it. It is turn it over to God. How could I forget that one? I just love that part of what we're learning is our true nature. What is our true nature? And really, this is the meat of the Bhagavad Gita. This is the culmination of everything that Lord Krishna has been preparing Arjuna to experience, to realize the God essence, and to be set free from the self in such a way that he is able to be present to the true nature of his own being. And so in that journey, we learn in this, how to do that. How do we walk by faith? How do we take ourselves to zero? We release the self that believes it's all important and understands, and come into the realization of there is only the one source, the infinite God essence that knows and understands. And when we go there, instead of at the level of self, at the level of mind, then what is revealed is very different. And it will be that which guides us to our truest self, moment by moment by moment. So this is a powerful work, and I hope you'll come join us at Unity Bay Area, Houston, on 1911 Highway 3 South, 10:30 Sunday morning. We have a thriving youth ministry, children and teens and activities. We also have a wonderful opportunity for all of us to explore and experience the power of the spiritual presence each moment, along with great music and an opportunity to be together with one another. We are so, blessed and amplified in our own ability to experience our spiritual essence in the presence of others that are also doing the same. So we hope you'll join us, or if you can't be there in person, come join us on the Facebook live stream at Unity Bay Area, Houston. And we will live stream at 10:30 and look forward to having you join us one way or another. And certainly buy the book. Fabulous, fabulous material. If you've wondered your purpose, wondered about it, if you feel like you're in a deeper exploration for your true self, wonderful material and great understanding of the Bhagavad Gita from this. Bless you, friends. Look forward to seeing you soon.